Tchac versus the number 2 team from Germany, who get a block straight out the back, but that's a nasty bang on the head.
It looks like he might have just collided with number 42, Marco Delale, on his layout. Did get the disc, though. That is Paul Herkins on the ground for Wall City. So as you said, Wall City, the number 2 team out of Germany, closely losing to Bad Skid on Universe at the German Restart tournament. Not officially nationals.
But the exciting thing is, earlier on in that tournament, they actually gave Bad Skid their first loss on German soil in literal years.
Very, very long time.
And they didn't just sneak it, they hooned them. They beat them 15-8.
Yeah.
So it's always that really weird position when you then get to the big game. Can you do it again? And yeah, they did. They had the disc, right? They started on offense, just couldn't put it in.
And we'll look out for number 47 in this game, Conrad Schloer, who's about to get the disc lashed to him deep, with Bosser tightly pursuing, and Bosser forces Conrad Schloer to go up early. Conrad Schloer, player who's played for Pony in the United States, very strong defensive player, and has been bringing a lot of heat to this Berlin side.
Yeah, it's interesting actually. You say seeing him being a big tool on offense, but my sideline chat before the game actually he was named as one of the big players on D. But yeah, say that North American experience. Although Tchac with 3 players coming back home from the AUDL, it's going to be a spicy one to see.
Yes, we will see that later. Vincent Lepagnol now with the disc. Moves the disc up the sideline. Tchac here with a chance to make a clean hold to start the game. Matt Bosser to Jean-Sébastien Guilou. Bosser, one of those players that has come back from Montreal, was playing with the Royale. Last time there was Ultimate a couple of years ago. Now back on his home club with Tchac. Lepagnol, one of the top players for the France mixed team in 2019. Also returning to his home club. Nice inside shot to Morer, and Tchac goes for the end zone. Bosser collects. Tchac start things off with a hold, 1-0 for the boys in blue.
Yeah, after that huge block for the Germans, didn't quite come off. I mean, it was a bit of a curious error in the end zone. It looked like it was going to be an easy score. There was separation, but yeah, nice to see Tchac manage to turn it back on and just pop it in.
So as you said before, Wall City, the 15-8 win against Bad Skid, not doing it in the final rounds, but very, very strong. Compared to the team they had at that tournament, they did have Rob Schumacher. He will not be here at the xEUCF, but they still have a very strong side.
Oh, I think they've brought a cheeky Schumacher. He is here.
He is here.
He was pointed out to me earlier on. Him coming across from, in fact, he's actually out there on the field right now, Ravi.
Interesting. He is not on their roster on Ultimate Central. So
sneaky.
All these games will probably be disqualified later on, I'm pretty sure. I've talked to the EUF tournament director. I have one of the EUF bigwigs right behind me right now. I'm sure he's going to disqualify all of Wall City's results because of that. But no, so Schumacher is here. That means they have their complete squad that I saw at the German Restart tournament. Will be exciting then.
It certainly shall. Coming out on offense as well.
Lets the pull roll out there. Aaron Wolf now with the disc. Tchac completely shutting down all the options, but eventually they do find Leo Eichler on the sideline. Back to Wolf. Phil Kay now with the disc. Longtime Wall City player. A little bit of a high shot, but it works out well for Jakob Diekman.
Yeah, a little spin on that disc. It is getting to be quite a breezy afternoon here in Bruges. It's a nice low grab.
Rob Schumacher now with the disc to Wolf. Puts it up to Phil Kay. Wall City struggling a bit, but still managing to hold on to every disc. Tchac definitely putting a lot of pressure on. Nice little switch there on the handler up the line cut by Tchac. Second up the line works perfectly for Wall City as they produce a clean hold themselves. 1-1 the score here, Hannah.
Indeed, a nice little post through the letterbox, that score. Good, tight defense work. As you say, nice switching from Tchac on the Wall City team there, but quite an easy score at the end of it.
Yeah, it was one of those where there was a lot of pressure, but Wall City just handled the pressure well. It's 2 points now into the game. Tchac didn't do it quite as cleanly as Wall City did, but still one hold apiece. not too much between these teams. I was really looking forward to this game when I saw the slate of games ahead of us for this tournament. Saw the pool draw, thought, yeah, Wall City seems to be a team on the up. Berlin in general on the up. Jinx on the women's side also looking very, very strong at this tournament.
And they'll be on the stream next game.
Well, we'll get
so
more.
we've got the Berlin crew in the house. If you are watching this game and you want to show some love even for either side on the field, be it the players in white or the players in blue, then get involved in the comments. Let us know that you're here.
We'll be following along in YouTube on the YouTube chat. Here with ULTI.TV, bringing you coverage at the xEUCF 2021 in Bruges. Tchac here with a very similar O-line. Beaucer's out there. Beaucer in previous years had played D-line for Tchac, but he seems to be bringing his talents to the offensive line this year.
Is that an upgrade? Do you think that's a promotion?
Well, it depends. It could mean that, I mean, he is very effective on defense as well, so it might mean that they're missing a couple stars. They used to have Eric Becker play on offense, and without him, who's now moved to Isno, maybe they've realized the need to put Beaucer on O.
Well, this is a rather fresher Tchac team, right? They've got some newbies to look out for.
Absolutely, they're building their youth. They're a very, very deep club, and especially the previous years when they had some people gone to Montreal allowed some changeover. Now, Wall City getting a turn, but there is a call on the play. A stall out was called. It is contested, so I believe the play will continue. That is Julian Ozer, who's able to get that D for Wall City. Conrad Schloer now with the disc. Conrad Schloer giving and going. Puts it up deep. A lot of bodies behind it, but no one could quite read that disc well, so another shot to the end zone doesn't work out for the Wall City D-line. And Tchac will get another chance to hold. The wind is picking up here, Hannah.
It certainly is. It's a bit gusty. It's sort of, you know, fondling the trees at the far right of the field, but it is that kind of unpredictable sort of here, but not here. Just adding that extra element of uncertainty this game.
We'll see who that favors as this game goes on. Beaucer now collects a low pass that I think maybe the wind caught a little bit of. Inside pass to Le Pagnol. Tchac now moving, puts up the disc. Lots of space, but there's going to be time to catch up. Very well, perfectly read by number 42, Marco Delal, one of the newer Tchac players that people might not have heard much about, but I saw him in the French championship, or the qualifying event for this, was putting up a lot of pressure and a lot of points against Is No Good. Marco Delal, the young guy from Tchac, makes the score 2-1.
He does indeed. That was a beautiful fast movement of the disc that really opened that up. The thrower had absolutely no defenders anywhere near him, able to just be like, oh, I'm just going to put this beautifully. Well chased down by the defender, but that just...
End zone for Aaron Wolf, and Wall City managed to hold on to that one.
Great composure there from Diekman. That little bit, as you said, the sneaky wind, that element of surprise. Oh, holy heck, it's still up. It's what you got to do. I mean, to be fair, this is what you expect at this level of Ultimate, right? It's not, oh, I got D'd, head down. Ain't over till it's over.
Surely is not, Hannah. So we're still on clean holds. I mean, the defenses on both teams are putting up pressure.
Well, they're not clean. We've had turnovers. But it's usually, you know, one apiece. We're just still on serve, though.
Numerically clean is what I meant to say. Yes, that's what I was trying to say. Was the points themselves have had a lot of pressure. There've been, you know, some turnovers and some scares of a turnover, like in this last Wall City possession. But still, both O-lines managing to score both their points. 2-2 is a score here, as Tchac will receive the 5th point of the game.
And both of these teams coming into this game off of wins. So a 15-8 win over Panthers Bern for Wall City, and a very similar scoreline, 15-5 against the Bridge for Tchac. So it's nice to see both teams are coming out pretty strong, Ravi. Like, it's not been really bad error turnovers. There was one from Wall City that was a bit of an errant throw, maybe a bit too many people under it, not quite sure where to put the disc. But apart from that, these teams are pretty much already sort of, you know, they've got their joints nicely oiled.
Matt Bosser collects the ball on the sideline. Wall City providing a lot of pressure, forcing a deep shot to Moret, but he seems to have it. Very well collected by Moret. Looking for the continuation. And the swing pass to Jean-Sébastien Guilou makes it another score for Tchac, 3-2.
And finally, they have a clean one.
You'd call that a clean one. That huck's also clean for you?
It wasn't a turnover, Rafi.
It wasn't a turnover.
It might have been a high stall throw, but they didn't turn it over.
So Wall City applying a lot of pressure, but then kind of that release valve on the deep option opened things up for Tchac. Jean-Sébastien Guilou caught that one. Definitely not one of the newer Tchac players. He's one of the older guard. He's been playing on this team for years, maybe decades at this point. Coaches the France Open national team. At least he did the last cycle. I'm not sure if he's still involved for the next upcoming cycle.
Well, as you say, they have a really strong core unit. And this year, as we've already mentioned, is about rebuilding. It's about bringing those newer faces into the fold, kind of working on their connections, and they seem to have done that mighty effectively so far. I was chatting and saying, how have they been doing this? And apparently one of the things has been going out to dinner a lot. You know, supporting the local French economy with their vaccination certificates to get access. And yeah, it's a classy move.
Yeah.
What's the dinner?
Out to dinner, that's Tchac's secret.
It's very French. Fine dining.
Aaron Wolf gets a centering pass for Wall City as Tchac come out in person-to-person defense. Steekman again, very good cutter so far in this game. Phil Kay on the sideline. Diekman's going long, Phil Kay doesn't like it. Oh, a low pass, but Schumacher manages to collect. A little bit of a bobble there, but Wall City's still holding on. Wolf. Inside pass to Kay. Diekman now has it. Looking to score. Instead resets to Kay. Kay with the around back to Wolf. Wolf to Kay again. What an amazing set of handler movements from Wall City there as they equalize things 3-3.
Yep, really enjoyed that point. Also, really enjoyed how everybody else just stayed out of the way and just let those three players work it beautifully. Also, shout out to the nickname for, I think, Beekman, Danger.
Danger.
Yeah. So, I was, again, in my secret research on the sidelines, was finding out, why is he called Danger? Because the player involved was saying that when they first joined the team, and maybe slightly newer to the roster, they didn't really get it. They were like, this is a big, big nickname to fill. But he said, just watch. I'll let you decide. In the comments, let us know. Do you think it's warranted, that nickname?
Is it a good? I feel like Danger on an O-line. Because he's an O-line player. I would feel like you want to be Danger on a D-line, but so far he's been pretty safe, in my opinion. I wouldn't call what he's doing dangerous. Maybe dangerous to the opposing D-line's opportunity for a break. That's a bit of a stretch for me. I don't quite see it yet.
Well, continue watching. We'll let this game unfold in front of us and see if we can come up with our own thesis at the end of it.
Lovely to see the chat here. I see some French. I see some Italian. Don't see any German yet.
Yeah, a lot of love for the athletes in blue. And yeah, maybe we'll get a little bit of French then if we, as the game develops.
Je peux faire un petit peu en français si on veut changer un peu, mais yes, for right now I'll stick to English.
D'accord.
D'accord.
Deep pull straight out the back. This could be nice, nice field position.
Bastien Chevalier will get to walk it up to the brick mark, guarded by Martin Kronacher, another long-time Wall City stalwart. Also plays for Jogo Bonito, and also has played for Bad Skid in seasons past as well.
And I'm digging his neon headband. Very cute.
Sagging handler defense from Wall City. Bosser still collects it completely unmarked. Marco again there, moving it into Chevalier. Le Pagnol now. Looks off Guilou. Around pass there to Planchon. Chevalier under tight pressure, collects. Beving Yang. Moves the disc over the sideline. Nice throw up the line to Le Pagnol, but it's eaten up by Conrad Schloer. And Wall City will get another chance as the winds start to gust immensely. Kronacker doesn't like the deep looks, is looking for a safer option. Eventually finds Rickards. Schloer now on the sideline, right in front of our cameras. Around pass to Rickards as he lays out to pick it up. Kronacker now with it. Tchac doing a great job at shutting down all the cutting options. Blady throw to the ground, but Conrad Schloer collects.
Oh my lord, how on earth did he manage to grab that? That was sensational.
Loads of experience.
I also would like to give a shout out to the shorts for Wall City. They've especially ordered them, brand new, and they're that kind of, you know, the new style, the little, like, the short shorts.
You mean shorts that are actually short, Hannah? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, rather than these, like, strange, weird, hippie
The basketball.
I mean, I like them. I do like them for wearing to bedtime, but the short shorts, I'm all about it. And on Schloer, those short shorts are working extra hard. There's a lot of muscle on that man's legs.
Oh, a lot of pressure there by Marco Delal. Inside pass back to Schloer. Oh, and the pass from Schloer to Kronacker doesn't connect. And Tchac will have a chance to make themselves a non-clean hold. Not
Dirty
their first
hold.
of the team.
Dirty hold, filthy hold.
Matt Bosser slowly goes to pick up the disc. Delal tries to initiate the cut. Bosser doesn't like the deep option. Chevalier. Guilou, oh, with the layout D from Wall City.
Former Clapham player Philip Johnson there getting up in the mixer. Moved to Germany this year.
Oh, it's not a bad pickup. Kronacker goes long for Conrad Schloer. Is this one going to be on point? Oh, and he could not read it, or it was just out of reach.
That's the second score that Schloer has missed in this game.
That one, maybe a bit more of a throwing error than the first one, but the first...
They were both quite difficult ones to read. I'm going to, you know, but we've seen
Conrad
what
Schloer. He's Conrad Schloer.
We've seen what he's capable of, you know. Maybe it's a little bit early. You know, he needs to. No, I'm kidding. It was a great effort and a great bid. Again, Wall City, I think probably a little bit on the defense. Maybe have the edge for the explosive plays, but Tchac are playing great smother defense.
Big pass up to Bosser, completely wide open, but the pass was a bit too far. And Wall City with another opportunity. Wall City's defense generating a lot of turns, so far unable to convert, Hannah.
Indeed. Well, I mean, I say, the smothering defense from Tchac, especially this line that's come out, they are working really hard. But this is exactly what we want to be streaming. This is the games we want to see, just two big clubs just slinging right and left hooks at each other constantly.
Kronacker now. Conrad Schloer goes deep immediately, but finds Paul Herkins on the under instead. Julian Oser now. Over to Rickards. Schloer calls a timeout for Wall City to see if they can figure something out on their D-line offense.
Yeah, I like that. That is smart. That is a smart thing to do. So I like the timeout call at this stage. It's becoming a little bit of a meat grinder of a point. And I think maybe Magnus Grosser under the comments is correct. They're asking a little bit too much extra of Schloer right now. But I'm also digging Ortiz, who nearly dropped his laptop when Phil did something cool. I think it was the block that Phil Johnston got. The kind of like probably waist height sort of layout. But yeah, this is definitely a key opportunity in this first half. There's been some pretty good plays on both sides, but at the moment I think I do like Wall City that extra bit because they're making errors that they can control and they can change. Whereas Tchac at the moment, they're getting blocked.
On this particular point, yes, and I also would say that I think that Wall City's offense is playing cleaner, and that's In the beginning of the game, you know, Tchac's O-line has to stay out there. They have to play defense repeatedly. That means your stars will get tired. So by the end of the game, that could pay dividends for Wall City. Even if they don't convert here, they're forcing the O-line to be out for a longer period of time at these high levels. That's such a key important thing to do. If you give offenses easy holds, let them rest, that'll really be easy for them at the end of the game.
Absolutely. And it is only day one, but there are 2 games to be played today for these teams. So this is the one where, you know, after this one's over, you get to go home and think about your life choices and massage your legs. And maybe have an isotonic beer.
So we're back here on the field. Conrad Schloer looking for an option up the line. Goes off the line to Kronecker.
Oh, I do like those danger slicing passes, sort of like into the center of the field, slightly horizontal. Just what the defenders just watching them miserably pass just outside the fingertips.
And that's Marvin Mukamitau playing there. Nice. That's a great huck option to Conrad Schloer, has it just in front of his attacking end zone. Can Wall City convert their first break? Nice and easy does it as number 21, Paul Herkins, collects the score from Schloer. And Bad Skiddy indeed do, Wall City, sorry, not Bad Skid, Wall City do indeed get their break.
It's the other German team. But looking pretty fun.
Welcome back from that ad. ULTI.TV bringing us this coverage here at the xEUCF 2021 in Bruges. If you like what we're doing here, consider going to Patreon, giving a few euros over to the ULTI.TV crew so we can bring you more and more action of European Ultimate and Ultimate around the world.
Or a challenge. Give more than a few euros. Give double-figure euros each month. You know, it's the cost of what, 2 coffees, maybe 3, depending on how affluent the city you're living in is. And what do you get for it? Beautiful, wall-to-wall coverage of great tournaments like this. What more could one want? Are you a patron?
I'm not a patron yet. I'm patroning a few Ultimate projects, and I'm not quite ready to put another one in, but strongly considering it. Coverage is pretty good here.
Well, the basic membership.
Nice inside pass. Looked like it was going to be contested, but Moret scoops it up in the air. Fakes the around break, back to Bosser. Another high release break. Fool me once, fool me twice. Kronecker will put some more pressure on that next time. Doesn't like the option from Bosser. There's a pick downfield, but I think nobody in the handler space recognized, so it will stay there with Delal.
And this is really where Wall City are playing in the pants defense. They are so close on every single pass, pretty much.
And that's the cool thing about their defense, because they were playing this poachy set before, but they're able to alternate between that and then playing real hard person-to-person defense. Bosser now with it. A lot of contact, but plays right through, and they just go to the break side, and eventually Planchon, sorry, it's Bevenyang, picks it up, but it will be for naught. Come back on another pick, as Bastien Chevalier will tap it in.
It's all right. It's just like at training when your coach makes you score, then take it out the end zone and score again. Why do you do that at training? For moments like this.
See this end zone set from Tchac, basically a strict vertical stack, nothing fancy.
We've not really seen anything particularly fancy. We've seen some good defense sagging and tightening and sagging and tightening, but nothing too strange on the offense yet.
See how teams adapt as Bosser just drives up the line physically through the Kronecker defense and collects the score for Tchac. So that will equalize things 4-4, but Tchac still down 1 break.
Yeah, a little bit of rough and tumble here out on this show pitch. Things getting very intense in the business section of this first half. So Ravi, if you're a gambling human,
go on.
At the moment, who would your money be on?
I think we discussed it a point or two ago. I think still Wall City, just because Tchac's been able to apply pressure to their O-line, but Wall City's handled that pressure perfectly fine. They don't look uncomfortable. And Tchac, on the other hand, have had more trouble scoring on offense. I think that's the kind of thing, like I think I mentioned earlier, that can make the difference because their O-line players are going to be more tired at the end of the game and therefore more likely to make a mistake. I think both teams look good, look like they can handle each other, but looking at how this might go forward to the end, I give the slight edge to Wall City right now.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. If you disagree with us, though, please do jump into the comments and tell us how wrong we are. Really enjoying the asterisk correction comment. Bad Skid is the other German team, in air quotes. We're really enjoying having you with us. Hope you can stay with us surreptitiously. Maybe you're watching us muted underneath your desk. You want to catch up with us later on. But stick with us here all day.
So Tchac trying to throw out a little bit of a zone to change things up here against Wall City. A wall. Christian Gaffney gets a swing pass. Tchac have now crumbled into person-to-person defense. Great up the line cut there from Sebastian Spiegel.
But a big old pick. This is the first time we've really seen Wall City's, until that pick paused it, offense looking just a bit fluffy on the inside.
Yeah, I think Tchac trying to, with that zone look, trying to force him into something else a little more, less comfortable. Worked for a little while, but now they're in the person-to-person. I like this matchup here between Gaffney and Abita. Abita, I believe, just won French Beach Nationals with his other club, the home club in Royan, last weekend.
In good company with yourself, Ravi.
I won the Division 3. He was in the Division 1. It's basically the same thing.
Oh, absolutely. I'm still scandalized they didn't give you a trophy, man.
We both lost 0 games. Aaron Wolf now with the disc, looking for Spiegel. Spiegel gets the around, does not hit Gaffney on the swing. Looked wide open to me, but Spiegel must have seen something else. Wolf now with the disc. Nice around pass, layout from Fay, another one of those players from Montreal. Wow, what a scoop. Oh, I thought he had it on the second effort, but he lost it on the third.
He stripped himself twice. His knee punched the disc into his open hand, and then he's like, I think he maybe got ground strip. That was hilarious to watch, like a little pinball.
If someone in the chat knows the name of number 65 in Wall City, please let us know. We don't have him rostered, and he's playing really good offense, so I want to be able to shout out his name. Quentin Roger, the ambidextrous player from Montreal. Well, not from Montreal, but played with Montreal. Oftentimes doesn't set his pivot until he realizes which side he wants to pivot to, because he has a full field huck with both arms.
Now that is the dream for any handler.
Nice throw, but there's a pick call. It's going to end up coming back. It's picked up by Abita, and a pick will probably bring that back. I'm not sure it affected play there, but just did float for a long time, so maybe some people could argue they could have came and give some pressure if they didn't stop playing.
But it's okay. It was all caught on film, where he did win the battle against someone much taller. Great ups. The players will be having a conversation about the pick, whether it impacted or not. It's going to be upheld. As everyone all adjusts. Of a blade straight into the middle of the end zone for the score for Tchac.
That's a Ronan Bichon collecting that, usually throwing throws like that himself, but can also do things on the other side of the disc. So Roger to Bichon gives Tchac a hold. I'm told now that number 65 is Ron Dumke. We have him as number 1 on our list, so we'll make sure we correct that. Maybe he's pretty happy we didn't have his name on his little drop earlier. From now on, he'll do great things that we can comment on here on the stream. And ULTI.TV's coverage of the xEUCF 2021.
Apologies for the buffering problems we're having. Our internet is playing some funny things with us here on the fields. But yeah, it's funny though, Ravi, that you should say that about the drop on stream for Dumke. But if you're going to drop on a stream, then make it as sensational as possible. And that one was I mean, I wish we had like, you know, 7 billion cameras, the budget for that. If you want to, you can become a Patreon and extend our budget so we can do more things and have more crew, more cameras, you know, slow motion replays, all that sort of stuff. However, yeah, if you're going to drop it on a stream, have it where you're like stripping yourself with your knee and laying out at the same time and all of it. Just bring it all to the stream.
Just want to say that was a break for Tchac off of that turnover. It wasn't quite a long point, so I think we kind of forgot that that was actually their D-line out there. So Tchac retakes the break. We're now back on serve. Tchac's up 5-4. Tchac coming out with the zone, trying to trap them on the line. But eventually Gaffney finds Spiegel, who launches it up. But that's great defensive awareness there by Tchac.
Big old gust of wind as well, just to get that little bit of assist on the defense.
Laurent Fay to pick up for Tchac. Looking for Roger. Nice little move against Conrad Schloer's tight defense. Known for his handler defense. He's going to try and make Roger's life a little bit more difficult.
Well, talking about making a life difficult, that's pushing them back probably about 10 or 15 yards.
And as they say that, they throw it all the other way. Just a perfect, oh, I thought a perfectly placed tuck, but not exactly properly read by Tchac. So Wall City will get it back for a chance at a dirty hold.
I like this new phrase of dirty hold. I don't know, it's an interesting one on that one. I think the run.
Schumacher now. Lady throw to Phil Kay.
Really enjoying the patience of the offense right now. It's really calm.
Swing over to Conrad Schloer. Up to Phil Kay, and that's just complete dump swing, swing, swing for the score. Completely uncovered. Great stuff from Wall City.
Probably a little bit of a wrist slap for the sideline there, not communicating, because that was a big string of people just bish, bash, bosh into the end zone. And I think a bit more of a chat from the sideline might have alerted the players in the field of, hey, there's this guy, free. No one's paying attention. But yeah, nice work from Wall City.
You saw there that once they got the dump and swing off, it's really easy to keep attacking the break side if you do it immediately. So it's great timing off of all those cuts, continuations. It's very hard to stop. A lot of you back home probably have your coaches trying to teach you to dump and swing. It's for points like this when it can work out perfectly, even against the defense like Tchac. So 5-5 is the score. We are still on serve. The breaks are even.
Indeed we are. As we gnash our way, gnaw our way even towards the half. But that Wall City offense in that last point, Robbie, just looked unbothered, unflustered.
He did have Conrad Schloer switching over. You will know that he tries to play D-line most of the time, but if they get broken, he's probably going to be on the O-line the next point. That's generally what his role was when I was watching them in the German restart tournament. So
yeah, put in some solid double duty, but he's a quality athlete. And I'm sure they don't mind him doing that. You know, no one's going to be whinging that they're not getting pitch time because Schloer's on the field.
I don't think so. Beaucerre now has the disc from Morea. Nice little dishy pass to Bevegnin. Le Bagnol finds Beaucerre on the inside shot. Planchon. Beaucerre not able to find Guilou. Instead gets Morer. Tchac offensive point looking very, very strong. So far, every throw has been uncontested into space. Solid cutting, solid throwing. Conrad Schloer seems to be walking back to the stack, whereas Chevalier is keeping the disc in his hands, so I don't think they're all on the same page here. A little bit of discussion. I'm not sure what about. I think maybe on the continuation.
It's a bit of a curious one.
I am very curious what's going on. The defensive seems to have switched places. I don't know what's happening.
Well, as long as the players in the field know what's happening, that's the most important thing, right?
Disc is tapped back in. Tchac now very close to a score. Swing around to Beausert.
Yeah, nearly the flail block there on the get up. That would have been so cool to watch.
Moreira gets his mark on the ground, but nice recovery to get right back up after that slip. Guilou now on the sideline. Oh, another mark to the ground. Not able to capitalize on it though. Beausert fakes the inside shot back to Guilou. Pagnol with it. Nice pass to Beausert. Schloer bumps him hard, but they just play through it. Layout come through, but not going to work. Wall City D-line is hungry for this disc, but so far Tchac have been able to keep it with them. Guilou over to the break side into Planchon. And a great score handling Wall City's diving defense. Our Tchac 6-5 for the boys in blue.
So I was thinking during that point, Ralphie, trying to think, what am I going to say when it's my opportunity to speak words? And I was thinking to myself that Wall City looked real kind of like they'd kind of just become a bit damp. They just allowed Tchac to work it all the way up to the final third of the pitch. And then it was like, holy heck, are they just going to walk it in, basically, with no pressure? Where is the spicy defense that we just saw but a few points ago? And then suddenly, it's almost like that was the plan. We're just going to do a little bit of sponge, not work too hard, and then go completely exploding out the blocks in that final third. Red zone defense, work really, really damn hard. And it took Tchac a lot of time to punch in that break side score in the end. But yeah, curious. Curious indeed, but
it's some intelligent stuff, I'm telling you. Conrad Schloer has been coached by Brian Jones in the U.S., one of the biggest defensive minds in our game. Part of that pony team that took down Revolver and kind of stopped Revolver's reign of dominance pretty much.
Someone had to, let's be honest. It's boring when it becomes too predictable.
And Conrad Schloer is a big part of that D-line that helped them do it. So he's bringing a lot of that crafty defense. Maybe that is it. Play loose up until the last third, clamp down. It could be all part of the plan.
Messing with it. It's Jedi mind tricks, you know? It's trying to get in the psychology of the game.
Well, Tchac was able to keep their composure this time. We'll see if they can force a turnover with this later on. Tchac back into their zone defense. Gaffney with it. On the side, guarded by Axel Roger, number 27, the little brother of Quentin Roger. I think Tchac have now crumbled into person-to-person. Spiegel with it on the up line. Working really well with Schumacher, swings it across to Gaffney, back to Wolf. Love this handler movement. Phil Kay now with it in the air. Phil Kay just pops it in for the score, and Wall City equalized things at 6s.
Now, that was really great example of a 7-person effort to score a goal. Obviously, you had a nice big lanky arm going up in the air from Phil Kay, bringing down what perhaps a smaller, less lithe person might not have been able to redeem.
That's what we should be celebrating that in this world. More people.
How scientific.
Nice arcing pull, but that one's going to go out of bounds. Chevalier.
Just shouting of yes on the sideline.
Not the most creative cheer.
Positivity, you know, I feel like someone should be doing a power pose on the far side of the field.
Nice around break to Le Pagnol. Beausert is open there on the deep space. Conrad's going to be with him. Conrad gets the D. And he gets the better of that matchup against Beausert.
Oh, my Lord. He's got a 7th gear. It's not just a 6th gear. He's got a 7th gear. Maybe even 8, I don't know. We'll see how far Wall City get in this tournament, but that was absolutely bomb.
Not sure that engine is regulation. We'll have to look into that.
It's got some extra NOS injections.
We see Aaron Wolf, I think, trying to figure out which disc is the correct disc to pick up to bring it back into play. He seems to have found one. I think he'll pick that one. It's good enough.
I like this one. This one we can play with.
And we do have Aaron Wolf here, normally a O-line player for Wall City, crossing over. And I think this break is a very important one for Wall City, so bringing some O-line power in it. But bring the O-line guy in, he immediately turfs the disc to the sideline. So Tchac now with a very small field to work with, as Beausert will have the task of throwing a disc against Conrad Schloer's all-star mark.
Yeah, if you're looking for an example of how to move as a defensive player, watch the Wall City handler marks. They're brilliant.
Mauvais. Big hammer up into the air for Planchon. It's going to be in the corner. Can he keep it in? No, he cannot. And they give the disc back to Wall City. We're talking about the marks. I remember talking to some German national team players when Schloer joined them in 2019, and they used to do this like kind of marking drill, you know, that simple 3-man marking drill. At the German national team level, he still manages to get hand blocks every single time they do that drill. Very, very aggressive on his marks. So that really taught them something about how good a mark can be, and how to play against a mark that's that hard. So teaching things on both sides. Let's see if Wall City can convert a break here to take the lead 7-6. Tchac putting on pressure. Wall City working through the handlers. Big shot to the end zone. Conrad Schloer's there. Can he read it finally for one? He gets over Beauserre. A little hand on the face, and Schloer finally figures out how to score. Wall City get a break 7-6.
And that is the all-important one. As you say, we saw some O-line players coming across and playing the defensive point, because we are now ever so close to taking half. And if they can get a score here, another break, and they're starting on offense in the second half, what a cushion to give yourselves if you're Wall City. So, as you say, Schloer managing to finally put himself on the stats board for an assist in this game. No, sorry, not an assist, an actual score. There
so you say 8-6, receiving at half. That sounds like a good cushion to you. But if you watch the Mooncatchers La Fotta game earlier on the stream, that's exactly the scoreline that La Fotta had. And then Mooncatchers got 3 breaks in a row to start the second half off. So never count your chickens.
No, it's yours to give away if you get it. But
which La Fotta demonstrated.
But indeed they did. So we had a masterclass in that earlier. Not to give La Fotta
how to give it away, what not to do.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, it's still a nice cushion though. Someone can rip all the feathers out. But yeah, a bit of a timeout there.
I'm guessing that, well, it could go either way. I did not catch who called it. I could imagine Wall City might want to call it, throw out an all-star D-line. Tchac might have called it after the break to calm down their O-line players. So I could see reasons for both teams calling this timeout here.
Absolutely.
It's a nice moment to shout out Tokai Ultimate. Don't we get their banner on the field over there on the right. Tokai helping to sponsor this stream and helping to bring us nice tools for the commentators, commentary source. So them financing that for us. So we appreciate Tokai Ultimate, their amazing cleats, and their new sand socks that they've released.
Indeed, and I've been chatting to Robin Ravi. So when you take your cleats off, what is your preferred shoe of choice?
When I take my cleats off to like put a shoe on afterwards.
Oh yeah, so if you're just like, you're between games.
Flip-flops.
Flip-flops.
All day. I don't want to put a shoe on after. If it's warm enough, I don't want to put shoes on after cleats.
Yeah, so I've been speaking to Robin from Tokai. I'm trying to convince him, Ravi, to create a line of flip-flops and sliders. Because as anyone who's been to the Tokai stands will know, they have a pair of flip-flops with cleats on, just for the bands. But imagine that, Tokai branded sliders or flip-flops. How baller would that be?
Well, I'd get a pair, for sure.
So, watch this space. We've made the product suggestion. Who knows? But sliders, very, very, very popular at the moment.
Have you tried the Tokai cleats?
I own a pair of the Tokai cleats, the original, not the new Flight 2.
Yeah, so you have the Flight 1s.
I do indeed. Very good cleats, very robust, have not fallen apart, and I live in the UK, so I have abused those shoes to like the nth degree in mud, and yeah, they're pretty good.
You abuse those shoes like Conrad Schloer abused that disc, pulling it way out into the bushes. Maybe it's all part of the plan. All part of the plan. He's just trying to make sure that his defense has plenty of time to set up and clamp down as Chevalier walks the disc to the brick mark. Sorry, that's Bevigny. Phil there poaching off, trying to force the disc into Guilou. See a lot of a different line here from Tchac. Not their typical O-line, even after that timeout. See the likes of Quentin Roger has been playing D-line all half.
Well, we like to give them an opportunity to do less running. Try and just punch it in a couple of passes. are still enjoying your chat. There's a bit of German that I have to confess, Ravi, I've not spoken German in a really long time, so I can't understand what it means anymore. But we're also getting a lot of love for the yes, yes chant. And not a lot of love for Eurodisc.
Roger, great quick move with Chevalier, and I think Pagnol comes through with the poach block. Tchac with the chance to redeem themselves and take half. Bichon slowly walking up the field. Tokai against Tokai action here. The disc in the mark. Oh. Roger. Inside pass to Le Pagnol. Bichon looked like he might have been open, but Dalal has it on the doorstep. Fakes the continuation pass. Not looking around yet, looking for Roger. Nice lefty pass to Roger, onto Fay, into the goal, not quite in. Roger against Wolf, puts it in and just out of the reach of Le Pagnol, so Wall City get it back. Tchac squander their opportunity.
So the previous block that gave Tchac the opportunity to score that then was supremely interesting, because there was an undercut available that did a full finger waggle of no, I don't want to be thrown to. And Dalal there knew exactly, oh, my defender has very visibly said, no, my matchup, very visibly said they didn't want it, and just allowed to poach and just sit in that space. Almost a little bit of a dangerous play, but managed to get it just about cleanly.
Schumacher going deep the other way. I think Le Pagnol had his hands on...
Do you think he would have caught it if there hadn't been the contact anyway?
So, I'm sorry, we can't see the replays ourselves here, but if we're looking at the replay there, I think as Le Pagnol was walking past, he did have his hands, and it caused him to kind of tumble a little bit, and that could take his head out of the play. I'm not sure he definitely would have had it, but I think he had a bit at it. Yes.
It's one of those tricky ones, because it was not the nicest disc. And obviously, able to go up. It's a big target. Diekman is a large human being. But that's I think probably a fortunate one for Wall City to get back.
I would say the throw wasn't perfect.
Yeah.
It wasn't where Schumacher wanted it. And if Le Pagnol didn't foul, maybe it would have been a turn, but I think there was enough contact there to warrant the call.
Defo.
Contested going back is maybe the fairest outcome here, because him getting a free catch off that maybe also would put a bad taste in the mouth, so we'll see.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. This is what I like about our rule set, though. We're coming back to neutral. We're resetting.
Ultimate's a pretty cool game, Hannah.
Oh, definitely. There are some bizarre rules, but some ones that you're like, yeah, that's a fair way to go about things.
Schumacher doesn't like the Spiegel up line cut, goes around for Gaffney, who lays out, but Wolf is able to hold on to it for Wall City. Gaffney looks off the Schumacher undercut, gets it back to Wolf.
Yeah, that looked very baity from Abita.
Kay, under pressure from Dalal, goes deep for Diekman. Le Pagnol versus Diekman in the air this time. Oh, what a grab by Diekman to take half. Wall City with the 8-7 soft break. We have halftime, Hannah.
We certainly do. An absolute roof in the end zone there for Diekman, managing to catch one of the big ones in. And yeah, it's a heck of a game, this one, Ravi. I still think I'm going to stick to my guns. I still think I like Wall City that little bit extra. But just, there's something about them. Something about them. Maybe it's my love of Germans. I don't know.
Well, we'll see. We're going to take a short break here for halftime. We'll be back in just a few minutes with second half action. 8-7, Wall City up a break. We'll be right back.
We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, ULTI.TV, the best in the world.
Become a member and
fund
fund
our
our
work
work.
to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond. We are a group of Ultimate players.
Game for the next stage of the tournament, the power pools, where they'll be facing up against the likes of LaFodder or Mooncatchers, right?
Unless the Terrible Monkeys manages to upset that, I would put my money on Mooncatchers and LaFodder coming out of that pool. It seems like these two teams are quite evenly matched. They also seem to be quite a bit heavier above the bottom part of this pool. So yes, the next stage of this tournament, this game will be carried into that power pool stage, and it'll be probably these two teams, with LaFodder and Mooncatchers. Mooncatchers carrying a victory over LaFodder into that stage as well.
So I believe we're continuing to have a couple of problems with our buffering still, so apologies for the buffering on the stream. We are trying our hardest with the Wi-Fi we've been provided. If you want us to have better Wi-Fi for better quality streaming, become a patron at ULTI.TV's Patreon. Google it.
So Wall City have made a turnover now. Tchac trying to get a break back and equalize things back at 8s. Axel Roger, the younger brother of Conrad, now with the disc, guarded by Gaffney. Nice around break. Hervé. Roger. Nice inside break by Roger, but it's not collected. Just a bit of a mental drop there by Thibaut Brazil.
Yeah, that's one of the ones that's going to haunt him. He looked at it and he continued moving, but the Frisbee just dropped to the floor. I feel like that's probably fairly gifable.
Yeah, and any gifted GIF fans out there, feel free to put that one together. I think Phil K is calling injury now, bringing in Conrad Schloer. Don't believe Tchac is taking a substitution of their own. So Spiegel now. Eventually finds Schloer, already making himself useful, coming on to this point.
It looked like he slightly tacoed that disc when he caught it, because it kind of caught him a little bit on the collarbone.
Still looks smooth come out of the hands of these players. A little bit of wobble, a little bit of wobble. Big shot up to Schloer. It's going to come a little shorter than both, and Schloer could not read that one well. And
bit of a head collision, I think, there. Yeah, immediate injury call.
Schloer just came in off of an injury and going right back out. And Quentin Monuz is coming out as well. So both players leaving. Quentin Roger coming in for Monuz. Disc is now officially tapped in, as the younger Roger is now going to get to play with his brother. I don't think we've seen both of them on the pitch at the same time so far. It took an injury call to make that happen.
Could be a beautiful thing, Ravi.
Hervé completely unmarked as Schumacher tried to help deep. Quentin Roger. Great cut by Abida, but looked off by Roger. Looks off Axel Roger. Nice around pass to Abita. Hervé. Nice move from Tchac here, but Wall City doing a good job stopping moves up the field. So say that, a high disc from Roger to Roger. The brotherly connection not working out for Tchac this time.
Well, as you say, this is the first time in this game they've been on the field together. Maybe it's too much Roger.
Too much Roger.
Trop Roger.
There is a limit. That's one. So Wall City's O-line with their third chance this point. It's been 2 turnovers so far from both lines. Spiegel to pick up.
Taking his time, well thought out, I think. Just needs a little bit to just bring the pace down a little bit, find that comfortable, nonplussed style of offense that Wall City had in the first half. Although Conrad Schloer now behind the dugout on the far side, just hiding himself away. nasty knock to the head.
Big floaty disc. We have Axel Roger under it, not going to win the height match, but wins the position matchup. I did not think that disc was going to go Axel's way, as the giant frame of Vladis Basov, Russian national team player, couldn't come down with it. But Tchac with a third chance at a break. Roger tries to throw it to his brother, but gets fouled, and a huge layout block. Nice inside pass, Hervé. Axel Roger calls a timeout after, I'm not sure what happened there. I think a pick was called. So the timeout will be retracted, as it happened after play had stopped. Quentin Roger with it.
Oh, that is some grindy defense. Had to work so hard just to make a dump pass.
Eventually it was the Roger connection that didn't work this time. Hervé now with it, doesn't like Roger up the line. Looking to get it off, but great marking from Wall City. But eventually finding a little Roger in the end zone to make it 8-8, as Tchac do have the break after 4 opportunities, 4 turns from the Wall City offense. And that's the kind of thing that is going to really help them out later in this game, because Wall City have to go back out on O now after being on there for so long. Tchac can put a whole new D-line on. They're not fussed about it. This O-line is going to be flustered in their head, and this is the kind of point that will fatigue them for the end of the game.
We were talking about in the early stages of the game, specifically you, Ravi, how the stars of Tchac might end up getting a little bit too tired because they were having much longer offensive points. But that is one way to come out into this second half, and just rip a big old chunk out of the, what should we say, resilience of Wall City. They've taken a big block. They've just,
taken the wind out of their sails,
it's like Jenga. They've taken a block out of the wall, They've snuck it out. The tower hasn't fallen over yet. It's still very much robust. But, it's going to be interesting to see how this point unfolds next.
You know much about history. That wall does fall by the end of the story.
Does. It does fall by the end.
So we'll see if
much
that's
to the benefit of the whole of mainland Europe. Although, I've stuck to my guns, so if it does fall, if the wall does fall over, Ravi.
We'll go against your pick here.
And if you've entered Ravi's picks contest to win yourself an Ulti-World subscription, have you had many people enter in?
We had about 95 people enter the picks contest.
Nice. Has anyone chosen either of these teams to win?
I don't know. I posted it on the live blog. Go to ultraworld.com/live. You can see live action, including this live to it. Phil Kay now with it on the sideline. Schumacher with it to Phil Kay. This is great defense from Tchac, really shutting down all the under options from Wall City. They have not been able to move it, I don't know how many passes, 20 passes so far, and they're still behind the brick mark. And that's a drop by Spiegel.
Yeah.
And Laurent, I think it was like some kind of call that got retracted, didn't affect the play, and Spiegel looked like he was looking like, can I get that back? Can I get that back in some way?
Well, it's a weird one because he had turned around, he was looking at the other players that had sort of stopped, so there's probably a reasonable argument there for the fact that he was completely distracted. But unfortunately, under the rule set of this game, you don't get any credit for that.
Bichon now to pick up to see if Tchac can take the lead back in this game. 8-8 right now, big throw over Laurent Fay to Le Pagnol. He's looking at that break side, nobody attacking it yet. Delal. Bosser. Nice hammer fake, but back to Le Pagnol. Wall City not really giving Tchac anything so far, just resets. And now they're even blocking the reset space. They go for Bichon. Oh, and it's blocked by Metzger.
Oh, that is such a good block. Just denial. Absolutely no.
He totally shut down the dump cut first. Then it looked like he was giving the cut-up line. It looked like he was giving the cut-up line, but no.
the sponge and pounce. Another low grab for Schloer.
He throws a big high disc for Wolf. That one's going to work just outside the doorstep. Looking for Dumke, looking for anyone. Eventually finds Spiegel. Spiegel back to Wolf. Schloer eventually finds Dupka for the score, and Wall City hold on to their lead, 9-8. Tchac gave him a scare, but the D from Metzger saved things for the boys in whites.
It's an interesting one, Ravi, because it's obvious that Wall City much prefer that kind of, you know, using all of the players in the field, the kind of give-goes, the kind of shorter, small ball offense, as it were, even though we're not playing with balls. But actually, what has been working for them, I think, in this game is opening up that deep shot. Every so often, just enough to make them think, the defense think that they do have to mark it out. Because the whole first section at that point was just nothing available under, having to reset over and over again, and starting to look a little bit frustrated, a bit flustered.
I think that's something Schloer adds to the team. So Schloer was in on that point. He's the one who threw the deep. Seems like he's either throwing or cutting for the deep more than the rest of the Wall City guys are more happy to play small ball. Maybe when it's just the O-line without him, they do that. When he adds, changes that element and really helps them out. I totally agree with you there, Hannah.
And coming into this sort of, you know, second half where we did see perhaps Wall City not, you know, firing on all cylinders, was when he disappeared behind that, you know, seated, well, I don't know what we'd call them, the cubbies on the other side of the pitch, with that knock to the head. So a truly talismanic player, as we're often found saying in the booth. It's like their lucky charm, perhaps.
It's cool to find a talismanic player who plays D more often than O. Then when he comes on O, makes an impact. So 9-8 the score here. Tchac's O-line coming back out on the field after a long point, but another long point for the Wall City O-line. So we'll see if that pays off by the end of this game, or if Wall City can hold on to their lead. Wall City melting out of whatever defense they were putting on. Abida with the disc on the sideline. Beausert dancing around, eventually finds himself open in the dump space, fakes the scuba. Abida there, but Conrad Schloer just powers through the explosiveness in that man's legs. Unbelievable.
As I say, he's got a whole lot of gears in those legs.
Puts up the big shot to number 6. And that's a break for Wall City, and they extend their lead. That is Frank Wang for the boys in Berlin.
Oh, I think this could be the moment when we watch this game back and we say that was where the momentum changed. But Tchac with their thumbs up, they're ready.
That D from Schloer, very impressive. On the throw on up, it looked like it was to an open player, but he just exploded, just ran with the gear I didn't know he had. Like on the long runs, we'd seen that gear come up, but also from a stop position, just to this explosive movement. Really, really impressive from Schloer.
I know it might come across as looking at it through a different lens, but it's when you look at the man's legs and he's got the short shorts. I've already read the fact that those short shorts.
And because Wall City wasn't that good in 2019, they've already calculated that if Wall City wins and Bad Skid gets second, Bad Skid still has the upper hand. So if Germany were to get one bid, it would only go to Bad Skid. I think Germany will get 2 bids in the end, so I don't think it's going to be a big deal. But some of the Wall City players have been protesting the German Federation's decision to do this. They think that why are we going to use 2019 results? Let's just take what we do now. But they're saying, it's not a real season, so we got to count the last real season we had. A lot of controversy going on in German Ultimate. But for now, we're here in international waters in Bruges. German Federation doesn't have any authority here.
Well, whatever happens, even if they get one bid, I feel like we might see the old roster hopping. So some of the top lines tend to do and join some of their brethren in Europe.
Bad Skid's not the team. Oh, come through D, but I think Roger is going to call strip on that play. Still no separate hand signal for the strip, Hannah. Wiftiff, if you're watching, please give us a separate hand signal for the strip. I know it's still a foul, so you can use the foul one. But anyways, Roger will hold on to the disc, uncontested there.
I feel like the unofficial hand signal, though, is the foul hand signal with the slip. Everyone's doing it. If everyone does it long enough, they'll have to make it.
A lot of pressure from the zone defense from Wall City. They're trying to crash the cup, but those cup defenders are coming in and almost getting their hands on it every single time. Tchac looking a little flustered from this defense. It's a very different look than we've seen. Well, it's like their third or fourth different defensive look they put out here. The intelligence on this Wall City defense is astounding to me.
Yeah, and as I said before, the movement on that front set is just sensational, but a big, expansive shot to the far side. Oh, and it's an error!
Just the difficult shot comes, and afterwards the easy shot is missed.
Conservation of greatness.
Kronacker to pick up for Wall City. Nice movement from the boys from Berlin. Could they get another break? Feel it coming, Metzger. Moving it around to Herkins. Herkins with the high release around. Held onto by Julius Faber, but he drops it after on the ground contact. So it's an uncontested foul, so it's the contact that caused him to drop it on the ground contact. I believe that's what's being called here, Hannah.
Yep, looks like it. I mean, if he said he intentionally put it down, that would also be fine within the rules, so.
And that is another break for Wall City. They extend their lead to 11-8, and it seems like we were saying earlier in this game, that Tchac's O-line maybe getting fatigued in that early half is starting to cause them problems. We saw errant throw there as Wall City threw a new look at them. They eventually broke through, and just a little bit too much adrenaline on that throw. Fatigue setting in, and Wall City up with a bit of a buffer here, Hannah.
Indeed, they have that cushion. They managed to find some goose feathers for some local flying poultry. And they've stuffed the cushion.
It's the first time we've seen 2 breaks in a row this game. First time an O-line's not managed to recover after being broken once. Once it happens twice, it can sometimes predict a third.
It can. I mean, we said at the beginning, at the beginning of that point, Tchac had their thumbs up. They looked like they were still positive, like they were still up for it. But body language now, looking a little bit dejected. This is the key moment where they have to G themselves up, spark a little fire in themselves, especially if they're going to snatch that many breaks back off Wall City, who are looking pretty comfortable.
Interesting note from the sidelines. Don't know if you can see it at home, but a lot of the O-line players wearing jackets, trying to get themselves more comfortable. It's been a long time since they've been on the field. They're happy to do that, but John makes sure they keep themselves warm. It's a bit chilly here in Bruges, though we shouldn't complain too much. I think this is going to be the best weather we get for the whole tournament, so
yes,
should enjoy it today.
I did pack my waterproof trousers, my anorak, my wellies, and my umbrella, based on the forecast for this weekend. Although maybe the ultimate gods have answered the prayer of Santucci Cioppo from Cusp, who did indeed pray on Instagram. Well, a written prayer. We'll go with that.
So Tchac putting a lot of D-line players out here now. They are not going to keep their O-line out for too long after those 2 long points. Big scuba dump to Bosser. There's going to be pressure underneath it. And he kind of D's himself on the way down. And Wall City will get a chance for that 3rd break. Metzger walking it up. Very short field to work with.
Yeah, I had a little moment where I thought that was going to be a scuba for the Callahan.
Nice movement from Conrad Schloer into the end zone as Wall City seemed to be walking away with this one. We had a very tight first half. Really good start from Tchac getting a break out of the half, but right now in this later part of the second half, Wall City definitely with a huge advantage, 12-8.
They've bricked them in. Tchac are in a corridor, and currently Wall City, they've got some breeze blocks, they've got their trowel, a little bit of quick dry cement. I think we're currently up to maybe like the lower shoulder line. That's where the wall is at the moment. So Tchac, they can still see over it.
Yeah.
It's not the most comfortable.
Yeah.
They've got to maybe go a little bit tippy-toe to get the full view of the field. But yeah, it's they're piling up pretty fast. I feel like this one might end up 15-8, but how are we doing for time?
Time-wise, seems we're getting closer to that cap. I think, is it 90 minutes or 100 minutes here? It's impossible for us to know because we count our clocks up here on ULTI.TV, so I don't know how much time is left on this game.
It's because you just have to know the rules. The only reason why the count up clock doesn't work, Ravi, is because all of these formats, all the tournaments are always a little bit different. You just need to agree, guys, on one time stamp for all of these games and outdoors. No, I'm kidding. It's good
Or
to
we
have
count
the
the clock down,
flexibility.
just so you know. No one needs to figure it out. I'm just kidding. Anyways, let's back to the game. I wanted to mention to you, I talked a lot about what intelligence Conrad Schloer is bringing to the D-line on Wall City. What I'm seeing now here is maybe a flash of Phil Johnson bringing something, who used to play for Clapham, and right now Wall City are kind of Claphaming them. Tight first half, walking away within the second. I think that's something Phil Johnson's bringing to this team.
True, and Schumacher. Schumacher also played for many seasons with Clapham. But yeah, it's nice to see Johnson. Haven't seen him for a little while. He's a very enjoyable player to watch on the field. Very good defensive player. Nice tight matching, nice aggression. Certainly Wall City this season have been doing lots of scrimmaging amongst themselves to have that aggression. Let's see if they can put it to pasture here as they're in Callahan County, Tchac in their own end zone.
Yeah, great pull from Wall City, really pushing them. And the pull was chased down very, very well. Chevalier now trying to find Bichon on the sideline. Nice swing pass over to Beaucaire. Conrad Schloer got a lot closer to it than I would have imagined. I should stop being surprised by his legs, but they keep every time. It's still shocking me. Axel Roger now with the disc. And a hand block. But it's going to be called back on a foul.
There's been, I have to say, quite a few contacts on the marks with the throwing. Early stages in the game, there was a Wall City throw where I could actually hear the hand block through, the hand contact, sorry. Wasn't a block, so just did come through, so it wasn't called, but I could hear the contact through my headset.
It's Miguel Jimenez with the close hand block, but called back on a foul. Axel Roger looking for options, finds Moret on the sideline. Nice blade around to Jean-Sébastien Guilou. Guilou to Chevalier. Beaucaire. It's Paul Bevagnier. I think they're calling a travel on Beaucaire, but he's not happy with that call. He's pretty sure that he...
I think we are hearing some whistles for the end of this time slot. So we're getting near to the cap. As we get some shade in the comments from the ULTI.TV staff saying we should know the cap rules.
Axel Roger fakes the hammer. Nice upline cut by Chevalier.
Again, that really tight final third defense from Wall City.
Making a lot of problems happen for Tchac. They were really staying contained, not able to swing it around. And really looking to jam it up into the sideline, but Wall City's completely shutting that option down.
And Ravi, it's nice to see we have Brian Jones has snuck onto the stream. Nice to have you with us, Brian.
Yeah, watching from the US.
You got a name drop earlier. Maybe that was it. Like he heard, his ears started burning. He was like, I feel the sudden urge to watch ULTI.TV's stream on YouTube. He
is coaching Conrad Schloer. Conrad Schloer was in the US last weekend playing for Pony at Regionals, came back for this, so he's going to watch one of his players out there on a big stage. Schloer playing for Pony, I think, in the US series this season, but also looking to get a Worlds bid for Wall City, so trying to see if he can get two options. Have to pick which WCC team to go with next year if he can get both of them qualified. Axel Roger. Nice around pass to Moret. Does not give it to Bichon on the final thing. Inside shot to Guilou, and Conrad Schloer doesn't leave his feet this time. And Tchac finally get themselves back on the board. It's been a while, Hannah.
It has. They finally managed to apply a little bit of a sticking plaster. It's not quite stopped the bleeding yet, but it's just paused it briefly. But I believe we might be at the end of the time slot. During that point, perhaps I could just about hear the sound of a whistle. But I know the next game slot will start at 15:40, so I believe we're now going to be in the cap, but we'll get confirmation for you exactly on that. And the comments go wild. We love Conrad Schloer in all caps from Sean Keegan. You can see that on that last bit actually that he did try. He thought about leaving his feet, but not quite.
Wall City's O-line coming out for the first time in a while. That's an interesting thing. They've had to stay out for a long time with the D-line on a roll. We'll see if they manage to keep themselves warm. Dunke. Shot going into a straight person-to-person, just trying to apply pressure directly, not trying anything fancy. Aaron Wolf with the disc, swings over to Gaffney. It's going to be too high for Gaffney. Not quite a Callahan, but Tchac have a chance to try and come back a little bit. Lepagnol on the end zone line. Abita with a beautiful cut. Taken over by Broussard. Laurent Fay. Finds Lepagnol. Aaron Wolf makes the bid, but Lepagnol secures it in. And Tchac get a break back. Not willing to go down yet. 12-10 the score. Getting a little bit closer, Hannah.
I mean, I did say they'd put a sticking plaster on, but maybe I was wrong. Maybe it's a compression bandage. We're now going to be the game to 13 as the cap was applied during that point. So, I don't know. That was a little glimmer of momentum, but I'm not sure it's enough to prevent Wall City from scoring for a full 3 straight points.
They're going to need to they just got 1 break, so it'd have to be a total of 4 breaks in a row, which we haven't seen anything quite like that happen in this game. Wall City got a string of 3, but Tchac have not got more than 1 in a row yet.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna, because I stuck with my bet. I was with you, Ravi. You bailed. I was with. Of course, not that we're biased. I wouldn't have mind losing.
I do think that I picked Wall City to go higher from this pool in my picks. I'll have to take a look at my bracket later on, but yeah.
But I mean, heck, if we got to watch Tchac put 4 breaks in a row, I would be ecstatic. That would be brilliant.
The X factor that Wall City has is that when they get broken once, they throw Conrad Schloer an O. So their like O-line after getting broken is a little stronger than their O-line, like the starting O-line.
So he really is the ace in the pack.
Yes. So it's like, oh, you stopped us once. Can you stop us again in a row now with Schloer? We'll see who takes that matchup. We'll see who takes that matchup. Wall City starting off in a side stack, isolating Phil Kay. Phil Kay does win that, gets a little bit of a gainer. Puts one deep. It's going to be contested, and that's another D for Tchac. That's number 62, Quentin Mounous, who had the clash with Schloer earlier in this game. Good to see him back on the field, making moves for Tchac. Quentin Roger with the disc. Big backhand huck for Bichon. Can Bichon read it well? Oh, what a grab by Bichon! And Tchac get another break. 12-11, Hannah. This game's not over yet.
Oh my goodness, that was fantastic! Oh, it's really hard when things like that happen to just stay silent and not yell into your microphones and ruin the ears of our viewers. But yeah, holy heck, Tchac giving us a heck of a show. I still don't back them. Still don't back them. I don't know why, Ravi.
So what I said in the last game that went to Universe is that I don't back them yet. If they get the next break, then I do back them, because I think starting D on Universe is that it can be an advantage, especially if it's after a little roll. You have a team is a little bit in their heads. I give Wall City one more chance. As a timeout, I believe, is called. Are teams huddling up? No, it's just.
I'm not sure you're allowed to call a timeout in the cap here because the gaps between games are only 10 minutes long.
Okay. We should look into the rules. We should know the rules and make sure we're solid on those.
Well, Ravi, if they were put somewhere very easy to read, perhaps if there was a system that someone wanted to design that would be brilliant for providing information for tournaments. if you're a person who can, build websites where you can store things like this, we encourage you. Work on the project. Do it for the love. But yeah, we will sort our stuff out and bring more knowledge to the next set of games. We are here though on the stream all weekend long, providing you the coverage from ULTI.TV. Become a patron, get the streams, more tournaments, better coverage, better quality Wi-Fi, less buffering.
All right, Aaron Wolf with the disc. Tchac coming out in his zone this time. They got 2 Ds on person to person, but they're trying to mix it up. The wind is picking up, and that might be helpful for Tchac.
And significantly nippier. It's cold.
They've just been passing it back and forth, no pressure, but then again, they've gained no yards either. Metzger gets it over to Schumacher. Metzger and Schumacher passing between each other. Schloer now with it. Wolf on the undercut. Schloer looks him off, finds Metzger on the up line. Metzger goes deep. There's going to be a lot of bodies underneath this, but Wolf is the one who comes down with it. Down on his knees now. Phil Kay unguarded, but instead, they go over to Vlad Basov, and Wall City take the game 13-11.
It's a clean hole to finish us off, Ravi. And I really do stand by my comment that using the deep shot to just open up their game for Wall City. They like the small ball, they like the patience, and they are jolly well good at it. But just putting it up, having a bit of faith back in yourselves, and they close it out. They put the final block on the wall, and well deserved.
Wall City will likely take this game into power pools. This result will carry through. If everything goes as expected, they should be playing Mooncatchers and La Fota. That'll be tomorrow after they finish up pool play. Right now here in this round, we're done. Don't go anywhere though. It seems like we've got Free Speed versus Jinx coming up next in the women's division. For Hannah Pendlebury, I've been Ravi Vasudevan here for ULTI.TV's coverage of the xEUCF 2021. See you soon.
ULTI.TV.